My network wanted me to ask you this question. I would never ask this question, but I have to ask because they
You can ask me whatever you want.
They want to know about the restrictions of marijuana in the UFC and what is the current policy. And because Nick Diaz was on the show.
Yeah.
And he was suspended for
Nobody's broken the policy more than Nick Diaz.
You motherfucking right. But why is that a policy when it has nothing to do with the fighters? I mean, I think in the steroid, y'all should be focused on that. Like enhancement of the fighter. That's not enhancing the fighter. That's relaxation to an injury or to pain. Or, you understand what I'm saying?
That's the problem. So, first of all, it's not the UFC. It's the athletic commissions.
Regulation.
It's the government, right?
Gotcha.
The governments are the ones that regulate that. We have the best drug testing policy in all of sports. And the problem with marijuana is, and marijuana is obviously becoming,
more legal.
Way more legal than when we were younger, right? It's a completely different ballgame these days. But the problem is it's still a painkiller. So you can't go into a fight having smoked marijuana within the last, I don't know. I think it's 24 hours. Your nanograms, when they test you, have to be at a certain level.
And so what's that, to prevent the pain from setting in?
Right. So they look at marijuana as a painkiller. I mean, you can't go into a fight with painkillers either, with a painkiller or marijuana.
For real? So if I took an Advil before the fight,
you can't do it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. You can't even take a sleeping pill before the fight.
So we don't want no drugs, no nothing in you. We want you to be water and vegetables and...
You have to be 100%. They don't want any type of pill or drug that would put you in harm's way. Listen, you got a guy who's trying to... Have you ever taken a sleeping pill?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you take a sleeping pill and you're still fucked up the next day.
Yeah, groggy and all that shit.
Exactly. So you don't want to go in against a fresh guy that day.
And they get hit and beat up. Okay, I got you.
After you're still feeling the effects of a sleeping pill.
But see, nobody explains that to the fan.
Right.
We only getting this much of the story, and everybody like, man, why y'all being mean to Nick? Man, Nick is my motherfucker, man. Get him back in there. He the only motherfucker. But they don't understand.
Here's the thing. The other thing is this. You have to not smoke marijuana for 24 hours.
That's it?
Yeah, he fights 3 times a year. So you can't stay off marijuana
Nick, come here, goddamn
for 24 hours for 3 days a year.
Nick, come on, man. Nick, Skinny Bone Jones, I'm gonna put y'all on rehabilitation. I gotta sit down and chop it up with y'all. I can't believe this is the rules and you motherfuckers is violating. I'm putting a weed class together for y'all. We're gonna do this 12-step, 3-step. 3-step program for y'all.
You know, it's not like the commission is saying you can never smoke marijuana. You can't smoke marijuana for 24 hours before
the fight.
And you only fight 3 times a year.
Damn.
Come on.
Damn.
Come on.
Damn.
And Diaz fails the test every fucking time.
Come on, Nick. Damn, Nick.
It doesn't even make sense. It's crazy.
Damn, Nick. It's hard to be your attorney now, Nick. I'm going to have to get this case to somebody else.
I'm going to tell you this right now, too, right? His nanogram level one time was so high, he had to smoke it on his way to the fucking octagon. It's crazy. It doesn't even make sense.
Nick, it's time. Oh, what? Right now? Yeah, they call you. They got your music on. Okay.
Seriously. That's pretty much reality. What it all boils down to is Nick Diaz doesn't give a fuck.
As he should. That's the Bay Area for you. Shout out to the Bay Area. Yee! No, but it's good that you're able to explain to the home viewer who really don't have no clarity or no understanding. It's a business, and it's a job. So don't just think it's a sport. It's a business, and it's a job, so it has to be regulated in a way to where it can run professionally in its protocol.
Be safe.
Yes, exactly, for both fighters.
Yeah, and sometimes in these situations, you have to save the fighter from himself.
Thank you.
Making mistakes and doing things where he could get hurt. Because at the end of the day, the great thing about the UFC is, in the over 20-year history of the UFC, even back in the crazy days, there's never been a death or serious injury.
Because that's the key.
Right?
Boxing has many deaths.
Cheerleading can't say that, okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
Football can't say that.
Right. So, obviously we're proud of that, and sometimes we have to protect these guys from themselves. We don't tell you can't smoke weed. You can smoke all the weed you want to.
We're just saying before the motherfucking fight,
exactly.
Get it together.
24 hours before the fight, you can't. You can't smoke weed, and you can't use steroids. You can't use performance-enhancing drugs.
I'm with that entirely. Like, you shouldn't be able to use steroids at all because that's enhancing
exactly
what you're doing. No, man, this is a great sport. In the beginning, it was looked at as something that was totally violent and unnecessary, but now it's beautiful, man. There's so many kids that want to get involved in this. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I love it, man. Listen, there's a lot of people that, there's a lot of people in life that have never been in a fight, have never been in those types of situations, and have had, a very different upbringing than other people have. For some people, fighting is everything to them. It gets people away from drugs. It gets people away from crime. It gets people. I mean, if you look at Mike Tyson's story,
saved his life.
Yeah, saved his life. There's a lot of people who end up fighting like that, and then there's just other people like Conor McGregor, like. This dude was put on earth to do this. This is what he was put on earth to do. Some people are like that.
And then the ultimate question is it going to happen? Is Floyd and McGregor going to happen? Because that's a lot of conversation, and I'm looking at him like, you know what I'm saying? Like, would it be a good fight? I don't know, because this guy's a dog. I watch McGregor, he's a dog. And then I watch Floyd, do his thing, but I'm saying, how does that look? And man, is it gonna happen, man? They get my blood pressure all high. Should I tone it down? Have some coffee, watch One Life to Live? What should I do?
I obviously, there's a lot of money in this fight, and they both want it. At the end of the day, does that fight make any sense whatsoever for my business? No, but I would never keep Conor McGregor or any fighter away from making that kind of money. But on the flip side, there's a lot of egos and a lot of people in the middle of this thing to make it happen. And for the people, when you talk about it, everybody's like, well, if Conor goes in there and boxes him, he'd get killed. And if Floyd went in and fought MMA, he'd get killed. But when you really look at this fight, at the end of the day, it's a fight, right? And Floyd Mayweather's 40 years old, right? Conor McGregor's 27. You met Floyd, right? You know Floyd. Floyd's this big, okay? Conor's a big dude. Floyd has trouble with southpaws. Conor McGregor is southpaw. And Conor McGregor hits like a truck. When he hits you, you know it. So in no way, shape, or form am I saying Conor McGregor wins this fight. I don't know, but it's more interesting than people think it is, when they think, boxing and this and that. I promise you, Conor McGregor will hit him. When they fight, he will get hit. And it'll be interesting to see what happens. So I'm down to do it. I love fighting, and I love doing crazy stuff like this.
I just think it's so dope to your legacy because that's your fighter. That's your man.
Imagine if Conor McGregor knocked Floyd Mayweather
Then how
out.
do you look now?
Shit.
How does UFC look now?
Right. Let me tell you what. The other problem is if this thing goes down, Conor could make anywhere from 60 to 70 million.
Oh, now he's going to come back and tell you, now I need to get that.
Well,
okay, I know
no,
the flip
what
side.
I think happens is, and Floyd's going to make 100 and whatever, however the thing plays out. I mean, how do you come back again and fight for 8, 9, 10 million bucks?
That's a once in a lifetime scenario.
Right.
Long as he understands that dynamic, and
which I think he does. He's a smart kid, but he might never fight again. Listen, Snoop, when you're in the fight business, you got to be hungry, man.
You're right.
You got to be hungry. It's hard to get up and get punched in the face every day when you got 75 million in the bank.
Is Conor hungry for somebody in the UFC world as much as he is hungry for Floyd?
Yeah, I think he's hungry for Floyd for the money, and Conor loves to prove people wrong. So I met with Conor McGregor 2 weeks ago. You sit down with this fucking kid, he'll make you believe that he's going to knock Floyd Mayweather out. It's one of the many things I love about this kid, So this shit that went on with Tony Ferguson and Khabib, right? Conor texts me and
said, Is they the same weight class?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this shit that went down, you know what he said to me? He texts me, he says, I can't believe you're going to fucking pay that bum Tony Ferguson $1. He goes, you shouldn't pay that guy a fucking dime. He goes, he was there, made weight, and you lined up a fight for him with fucking
Khabib.
No, Michael Johnson. After Khabib fell out and didn't make weight, you lined up a fight with him and Michael Johnson. He turned it down. Fucking bum. You shouldn't pay him a dime. That's Conor's mentality.
Like you should have took that fight
right,
just because you was
took
ready.
That Michael Johnson fight. Exactly. Are you a fighter? Did you prepare?
You came in to fight. I don't give a fuck who I'm in the ring with. Line me up with somebody.
That's what Conor said to me. And that's one of the many things that I love about Conor McGregor.
Dog.
And he ain't just talking because I've been standing in his living room looking at him saying, Conor, your opponent fell out.
No, but this motherfucker fought
He doesn't give a shit.
He fought Nick Diaz, right?
Nate. He fought Nate Diaz twice.
Nate Diaz big as a motherfucker.
Really big. That's exactly right.
And I'm looking at this shit like, man, hold on, man. I'm starting
bigger than
starting to
exactly.
understand what you're saying now, man. God damn, that's a big difference, man.
He don't give a shit. And at one point, one of his fighters fell out that he was supposed to fight. Trained for this guy the whole time, and everybody thought that Conor's big weakness was wrestlers. If you get in there with a wrestler, you're dead. He fought Chad Mendez on a week's notice. Could care less. Didn't even blink or flinch at the fight, you know? And everybody thinks that I kiss Conor's ass and everything else. Yeah, I definitely treat Conor different. I've never dealt with a fighter like this in my life.
LeBron get treated different.
Yeah, it's just
Kobe got treated different. I mean,
the difference with this kid is he literally will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime.
But
and he means it.
You the man, right? So when you see that kind of spirit, it's your job to uplift that, because when you uplift that spirit, it's another Conor McGregor somewhere.
Right.
That you're going to find, and you're going to be like, see, these are the type of dogs I'm looking for.
You're right. Like that girl, Cynthia.
She's a
we
dog.
just talked about, you know?
I called you on the phone, you showed up, you kicked ass, now you're ready to keep it moving.
2 weeks notice, she showed up, walked into the big show on pay-per-view, and performed like a fucking rock star, man. I love it.
Because nobody paid to see her, but we left wanting to see more of her.
Right?
That's game right
I
there.
agree.
Man, that's how it's supposed to be though, right?
I'm with you.
I'm a new fan, baby. I need to get an autographed picture when they put you on the video game. You understand me? Talk about it. We're inside the Smoker Studio, a.k.a. Everyday.